mention, I was just talking with Michelle, one of our liaisons, who's done a special, incredible job. Well, real quick, let's just give a big hand. These are two of our liaisons, two of our volunteers for making it. Fantastic and doing a great job, along with, I think, about 100 other of their closest friends. So we thank them for that, and we thank you all for being here as well. This is video game voiceover, and my name is John Swayze. I'm a voice actor. I do a lot of anime, I do a lot of commercials, and I do some video games. Most notably, probably my biggest character is Salvador in Borderlands 2. You all heard of that? Yeah. That's right! So I do Dodorio and do some Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Kai and whatnot, but the biggest one I've done is definitely Salvador. So anyway, that's me, and I'm from Houston, Texas. And I've been voice acting since about, in anime, since about 1996. And I've had the blessings of being able to do just a ginormous catalog of shows and characters. And I'm thrilled to be here. This is my third time at Anime North, and thank you for having me.
Okay, we'll punch somebody in the throat. Hi everyone, I'm Kase. Glad to be here. The first time I've ever been here at Anime North. It's really cool. I started doing voiceover, beginning voiceover work in 1998, primarily anime dubbing, beginning with Dragon Ball Z, Fullmetal Alchemist, Italia, a lot of different titles since 1998. I've also directed for 8 years and also done a little bit of script writing and adapting, and also some video games. And some of them include, let's see, I played Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I played Mega Man, otherwise known as a Bad Box Art Mega Man. I was also in the Fullmetal Alchemist games, the DBZ games. I was also in the Yu Yu Hakusho games. Let's see, I was in Borderlands 2, I was Space McShooty, and that's right, you know what I'll do, I'll shoot. Let's see, and yeah, actually as a strange little extra, I have a hobby of playing music, and back Guitar Hero 3, I was able to play, I was one of the contributing guitarists for the video game. So it was just kind of cool to get to do something that wasn't vocal, but just a hobby that I also got to use in the game. So I'm glad to be here, and thanks for coming.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Small, so I'm going to stand to talk. I can see all your faces now.
Hi.
Hi, 改めまして。My name is Eriko Nakamura. Voice actress in Japan.
English I know, so I'm going to start talking in Japanese now.
なので、ここからは日本語で少し自分の紹介をさせていただきます。アイドルマスターというゲームで私は声優デビューしました。それが今から10年前です。
I debuted with the character in Idol Master, and that's almost 10 years ago now.
アイドルマスターの中で天海遥という役をやっています。彼女とはこの10年間ずっと一緒にいます。今日もプロデューサーさん来ることができてとっても嬉しいです。皆さん楽しみましょう。Thank you.
Well, clearly we're outmatched. Here's to the ladies. We all love the ladies. So, yeah, we'll start with you, and you tell us what you do for a living. No, I'm kidding. what we'd like to do is just really open it up for questions, and we'll be happy to answer anything that we possibly can if we're able. So we'll start. If anybody has a question, just shoot your arm up, and yeah, right there.
Well, this is for.
It wasn't really a shoot, it was more of a hesitation.
This question's for Nakamura-san. What is your favorite Idol Master song?
アイドルマスターの中で一番好きな曲は何ですか？昨日答えちゃったんだけど。
Yesterday's panel.
I wasn't here. Sorry.
今日ももう一回答えさせてくださってありがとう。
I'm going to answer it again.
Tom.
That's my favorite too.
So it'll be great if you can ask maybe about games, since it's about video, voices in video games, and maybe questions on maybe where all three of them can answer. That'll be great.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, that's great.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. I mean, that's good. But yeah, with the Under Armour.
Under Armour.
Under Armour. You win.
I wanted to ask, doesn't it ever feel lonely recording by yourself for video game voices?
It's so lonely. We're so alone.
We're actually talking to
so in here, in America when we do it, unlike in anime because we're dubbing something, but even then, we're alone in the booth. There's not a group of us, necessarily. So we're alone in the booth, and there's a screen, and it has a bunch of lines. It's like an Excel spreadsheet. And it has lines, and then next to the line it'll say the context. Battle, dying, injured, ecstatic, you know, that kind of thing, happy. And you'll just run through the lines, and it's like, come on, let's go! I said I've had enough! You really smell! I love you! Okay, try that again. I love you! Great, so it's a process like that, but it can take many, you'll probably do like a 2-hour session, but you'll probably, depending on the voice, like Salvador, I would have to go 15-20 minutes and take a little break, because even doing that and chugging gallons of water at the end of the session, I'd be like, well, thanks a lot, guys. It's been great. My voice just bleeding and, but anyway, so that's kind of it for me. It's probably the same.
It is the same. When I said face McShooty before in Borderlands 2, do you know what I'm talking about? Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
That's the most I've ever. Just imagine going 0 to 60 in a second. In other words, imagine in life we are not called upon to yell in that way. Sure, you have spats with your significant other, maybe your parents, who knows, but like just yelling like you want to throw a car at somebody doesn't happen that often. So the fact that you're sitting in a room or standing in a room, going, ah, and you're yelling as hard as you can for a compressed amount of time is very unique. And when you leave the booth, your face is red, you're sweating as if you ran around the block. And it's kind of a strange workout, in fact. But to answer your question, is it lonely? No, it feels collaborative because you're working with other people in the room and you're constantly trying to make what you're doing better and better and better. But I will say that as collaborative as it feels, and even with 3 people in the room, to me the theater part of what we do as far as voice acting goes, and the great reward, is actually these conventions. This is being able to interact directly with the people who are involved and who appreciate the work and who, because we certainly do, we are fans as well. So for me, this is sort of the cool sort of payoff for getting to do that kind of work. So
I will add that you're talking about being lonely. When you're in the booth, it's an isolated booth, right? It's soundproof and all this. And so, as actors, we're just by nature, we're insecure. And we need people to tell us they love us. And that we're good. And that we mean something to somebody. And so, you'll do a line, and you'll be like going, like a whole series of deaths. You're like just, Gah! and like this. And then you'll look through the glass, or in this studio in Dallas, there's a screen, because they have a camera, and you look up, and you don't hear anything, but you see the producers just going. But what you don't realize is, they were just asking, you guys want pizza for lunch? Oh, that was great, yeah, great job. And you're like, oh, thank you. That was amazing.
はい、今アメリカの録音の仕方について日本とだいぶ違うっていうことを感じました。
So after hearing all of this, I have felt that it's very different actually in Japan.
ただやり方は違っても私の心の中はジョンと一緒だなと思ってます。
So the actual way of recording is pretty different, but I feel the same way as you, John. Very, very isolated and lonely inside those rooms.
日本ではまず映像に合わせて収録をするということはありません。キャプションとかに合わせる、見るものがないんです。スクリーンがなくて。
So in Japan, there's actually no screen with actual words on it. It's mostly just written things that you read off.
まず声を先に収録するので、台本とマイクとあとお水、ドリンクのがある。本当に孤独です。
So the only thing in the room is the script, yourself, mic, and water. So that I just feel lonely, very lonely in those rooms.
When water's your only friend, it's That's what I'm talking about. Another question. Yes, in the back there. Yes, yeah.
What's it like sort of trying to get started in this business and try to build up sort of a name for yourself and get you recognized so you can be involved with more projects? Like, what's sort of like the process?
Don't. There's no more work out there. We've taken it all. Sorry. You know, the main thing is, do you have any training at all?
No.
Okay, well, number one, get some training. Toronto, do you live here in Toronto?
Just on the outskirts.
Okay, because you live in the area.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this is a great town. You know, sometimes I get that question, and we'll get that question from Omaha, Nebraska. And it's like, well, you need to move. That's the first thing. You know, look into some acting classes. Find voiceover classes. There's a gentleman here as a guest, John Shacker? What? Hey, Michelle, John? Stacker. Stalker. John Stalker. Like Stalker. John Stalker is a voice coach and an agent, or not an agent, but a casting director. You know, talk to him. He can give you some great tips, but it's just a process, and you have to start, and you know, don't have any aspirations of success, and then you will succeed. That's my advice, anyway.
What he said is right. That's exactly right. And his mic's going to cut out when I want to talk. Hey, hello. That felt great. Except now. That's gone. Hey, guess what? Oh, I'm just kidding. Oh, thank you. First water, now this is great. I love this table. Yeah. Thank you. Right, so, yes, it's really all about the training, and as far as breaking in, it's actually, interestingly, for example, in anime dubbing in English, I noticed that at the beginning in 1998, it comes in waves, and in that particular wave of time, or moment in time, at Funimation, for example, there were, I would say, maybe 50 people total on the acting roster that even were there daily. Now it's something like 400 plus more that send in auditions all the time. So now it's become much more competitive. So now it's harder than ever, but if it's something you want to do or believe in, I would never discourage that, because I would be a hypocrite if I said don't follow your dreams and go do something you want to do. So I think it's harder, but if it's what your passion is, it's worth it. So that's what I think. Oh, thank you.
クリスは心が広いなと思いました。
You're a very big heart, Chris.
ライバルがたくさん増えるのに寛大な心で迎えるって素晴らしい精神だと思います。
You're gonna have so many more rivals now, but saying that's very nice of you.
Oh,
Yes.
That's what I was trying to say, Chris.
私はどうやってこの業界に入ったかですよね。違いました。どうしたら入るためにどうしたらいいか。ずっと好きでいることですね。
To always like what you are doing is the first the thing I want to say the most.
私は声優業を、仕事を
Work.
ではなくて趣味
I think of voice acting as more of a hobby than work.
だと思っています。
Okay. Next question? Yep.
What made you guys really get into this? Like, what made you give you your spark to go forward to this?
Start with you.
他のことはできないと思ったんですよね。不器用なので。
I thought I couldn't really do anything else other than voice acting because I'm not very good at anything else.
I lost to Bennett. I'm kidding, it was community service work. I was in jail for a long time. And because I have an addiction problem and substance abuse. Just kidding. Wow, really? So,
It's not a problem.
It's not a problem. I love substances. Just ask my hotel room. Actually, I lost the question. The question was, how did you get started?
What made you want to do
Oh,
it?
what made you want to do it? Oh, well, that's indefinable. That's like saying, why do you want to play music, or why do you want to be a doctor? There's something inside of you that just, from the beginning, it's inherent. Sometimes I think it may even be genetic, but it's just it's a driving force that begins at a very early age, and it never goes away. And believe me, I wish sometimes it would go away, because it would be so much easier to do other things. But it's just a force that drives you, and it simply won't go away, so then you must feed it with work and determination. So, yeah.
For me, it started out, I started out on camera, doing on-camera work, videos, commercials, movies, things like that. And I was constantly being told by the casting directors, John, you've got to lose some weight. You've got to lose 20 pounds. You've got to lose 30 pounds. You've got to lose all of it. And then I started doing voice work, and nobody ever said that. And I was like, I'm going to do this now. Because I can be happy and fat and eat fried chicken all day long. Why do I do voiceover? Fried chicken.
I think there was one voiceover. Whatever. That's awesome.
I am who I am. And that's all that I am. Yes, question.
With doing voice acting, a lot of people have someone who inspires them. So, who is a voice actor, somebody you've listened to growing up, or over the years that have inspired you?
Inspiration?
You know, there's a lot of them, and we're all different ages. For me, in all honesty, I don't know if you may remember this, but Jonathan Winters was a brilliant talent. Mel Blanc, who did Bugs Bunny and whatnot, huge talent. But nowadays, you know, I think probably one of my favorites is Patrick Warburton, who just is, I think, a brilliant voice actor. I mean, he's a great actor, but he's just got such great characters. And, you know, the real key to voice work is not being able to do a lot of different voices. It's not being able to go, I can talk like this, or I can talk like this, or I can talk like this, or hello. It's not, that has nothing to do with it. What the key to voiceover is making it sound like it comes from here. That it's real. That it's from your heart. You're not just regurgitating lines. You're saying something that means that it's just real. It's not put on. If you say something, for instance, I can fake, but I can't do the big booming Sunday, 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 come down today and you'll buy a car, you know, whatever that is. I can't do that. I can fake it and I can make fun of it, but I can't do it. So I have to do stuff that's me, and that's, I think, when you do that kind of thing, when you stay true to yourself, it comes out and it sounds real and it sounds believable, and that's what makes great voice acting to me.
I like, I would say Mel Blanc as well. I mean, in terms of voiceover, Mel Blanc, because I mean, he was known as a man with 1,000 voices. He literally did all of the Looney Tunes voices, which is amazing to me. So obviously him. Currently, I would say Frank Welker, who's amazing. There are a group of well, even Steve Bloom is fantastic as well. There are quite a few people who are very good. In terms of just acting in the world, currently I would say I love Gary Oldman. And one of the reasons I like him so much is because he has the ability to disappear into a role, physically and the way he sounds. He never looks and sounds quite the same way in each thing I've seen him in. And I love his ability to completely disappear into a role. And it's not about fame or putting his name in the marquee. It's just about the part and the character. And I love that. And so that's what I try to apply. I mean, I love trying to make each character different and varied, and that's the challenge that I give to myself. So I would say that. Oh, yeah, that's good.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I love it.
What is that?
It was influences.
She forgot the influences.
Yeah.
Oh.
尊敬している影響を受けた声優について、尊敬をしていない方は業界にいないなと思っています。
There's not a single person I don't admire and think of as a person to, like, what was it?
Inspired by influence?
And influence in the industry. Sorry about that.
声優ってやるとかなるその瞬間ではなくて、声優で居続けるっていうことがすごく重要なことなんじゃないかなと思っているので、慣れただけではなく長きにわたってその業界にいらっしゃるっていうことそのものがもう尊敬に値する、人として尊敬できることだろうなと思っています。
So it's not actually about being a voice actor or voice actress that is the admiration part, but actually continuing the profession throughout your whole life is what I admire a lot and want to do in the future as well.
そして私がこう影響を受けているもの、方というのはやっぱりその人間そのものでもあるんですが、自分が今まで出会ったキャラクターたちに一番影響を受けています。そのキャラクターのいいところ、ちょっとダメなところ、あまり好きになれないところ、そういったものを一つずつ感じられるようになれば、それってそのキャラクターたちがたとえ人の姿をしていなくても生きてくるっていうことだと思うから。
So what actually is not actual voice actors, voice actors that I get most influence from. It's mostly the character I am in these anime and video games that I get influence from. So like when they're sad, when they're happy, and their personality actually comes into me the most when I'm being them in those roles.
Another question. Yes, ma'am.
Do it again. Yeah. And then you do it again. And then they say, okay, that was okay. Can we do it again, though? Like, yeah. And then you do it like 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9 times. And it rags out your voice. Especially in video games, because so many of them are full of action, at least the ones that I do, are full of soldiering and dying and screaming and yelling. And it's just like, okay.
Yeah, I'll do it. I mean, you don't really have that attitude. That's what you feel inside. You know, like just, it's not again. I can't do it. You're like, okay, you got it. You know, so. But I don't know, it's hard to have a pet peeve. I mean, again, it's, like you were saying, you're doing something that you love. And, you know, if I get hired for, if I get hired, that's okay. If you get hired for 2 hours, I'm there for 2 hours. I mean, it's my job. Whatever you want me to do in that 2 hours, I'm more than happy to do, you know? So it's not that. The only thing I will say, I guess a pet peeve of mine is getting typecast, where I get kind of pigeonholed into roles and I don't get a chance to audition for other roles because the directors just don't see me as that. And I'd like to try it. And even if I audition, they've still got a mindset in their head of like, no, you're the big burly guy, you know, and I can't do the younger guy, you know, that's going to go to this guy, you know, so that's kind of a, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, let's see, this will work. Hey, no, well, oh, guess what? Okay, I would say, yeah, my pet peeve is pretty much the same. Being pigeonholed, and basically it comes down to directors kind of not knowing what they want. That would happen in any medium, whether it's a stage, film, anime, whatever, where you're doing multiple takes, especially of a take that is very strenuous on your voice. If you're yelling the same line, you know, put that down 25 times, by your next line, you won't sound the same, i.e. worse. So now the quality of your delivery is going down the more they do it. And it's also not your first instinct, it's not fresh. And therefore it's just not as good. So, and by the way, this is also, I'm coming from a director's standpoint too, that's something I was very mindful of, is to make sure I didn't exhaust the voice, because once you do that, they're out. So, yeah, I would just say, directors making you do things over and over when your voice it's going away. It's going away. Actually, I choked. I actually choked. Hold on. That was acting, guys. I don't know if you saw that.
I'm losing try.
No better. Thank you. Please. No one cares. All right.
全く同じことをジョンとクリスに言われてしまいました。
John and Chris, you answer all the same answer as me.
Oh, okay. So that is the same as Japan. Yeah.
やっぱり相手が何を求めているのか分からなくて25回テイクを重ねるって一体何回死んだらいいんだろうみたいな。
So yeah, it's the same thing when the director doesn't really know what they're expecting from you, and after doing it 25 times, it's like I'm kind of sick of dying.
何度も生き返れるのもラッキーだなと思います。
But you know, sometimes I can revive.
Hot tea, yeah.
でもそうですね、辛い、嫌なこと、こういう現場だとなっていうのはやっぱりコミュニケーションが取れないっていうことですかね。相手が何を思っているのか、何を考えているのか、そして一番怖い、辛い、困ってしまうのは私が演じるキャラクターとのコミュニケーションが取れなくなった瞬間。
So the scariest part of this when doing this job is when I can't communicate with the person directing, and sometimes even when I can't communicate with the character itself, it's very scary and it's something I'm scared of most.
そうなると大抵やっちゃう。大人げないなと思うので。 来年からはやらないように。
I think it's a very childish thing, so I will try not to do it from next year.
Yeah, 可愛いよ。可愛い。
可愛い。可愛いよ。Another question, or maybe on this side, yes.
When you record the games or animation or cartoons, do they provide the sound effect or the scenario to you before you record, till you are recording? Otherwise, when you present the sound or something like they want you to provide, right? If you don't know the whole scenario, whole storyline, how can you provide that sound that you really want? So I wonder, do they give you the earphone to say, okay, now this sound you should hear at that moment?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I think you're asking if we're recording in a vacuum, where it's totally silent, and they just say, "Be a monster." Is that what you mean? Luckily, in the case of video games, it is different from anime dubbing, for example. But in video games, sometimes there will be a drawing of the character, and then the lines of the character, and then they'll say, "Okay, right now you're doing this. Here's a little bit of backstory." They just tell you, and then once you see the character and you have the lines and they tell you what's happening, then you just go into it. But in my experience so far, there's been no sound effects whatsoever, no music. It's just your voice in your head. And but that's okay because we're used to hearing ourselves chatter away as we are now. But no, it's just that's the final product. But as you're recording, it's very raw. It's just you and a mic. So yeah.
No sound and no hint for you to, okay, you should do this, something like that.
Well, it's told to you as a story, but not with other audio cues.
Okay.
So it's just you. It's silent. It's silent. Yeah.
Go. Yeah. Go ahead.
日本でも同じように音は聞こえていません。私が今まで経験しているものだと同時進行で作曲もしているので曲自体も出来上がってないことが多いです。
In Japan, so the same as in Canada or America, there are no sound effects that you can actually hear when recording. But usually, when you're actually doing the voice acting, the songs are made at the same time while you record, so she won't be able to hear it.
ただ作品が長く続いて2作目、3作目になるとおそらく前回のこういう曲が使われるだろうなとかっていうことは自分の中だけでこうイメージしながらやるっていう作業を私は個人的にしています。
So what I do personally is like when it becomes the first series, second series, third series of the same type of video game, I kind of imagine myself from the first game. They sound like that, so I'm gonna be imagining my head and try to act like this in a certain way.
全く違う結果になっていることもあるんですけどね。
Sometimes it's a complete different song or a complete different way, and then it doesn't match sometimes.
Oh yeah.
What they said. Yeah. You know.
Well, also, it is a great advantage, by the way, coming back to do it again. Don't you think that don't you feel you become better with each version as you go on? I would think so.
全く。
No. It's worse.
It becomes worse, yes, like harder.
Oh, okay. So in other words, even though you played the character before, it becomes a new set of challenges, and therefore it becomes more difficult. Is that what you mean?
どんどん自分流になってきてしまって、キャラクターではなく自分になってきてしまうことをもう一度リフレッシュさせてキャラクターに戻さなきゃいけないので。
So like she's so used to the character now that she feels like herself is going into the character, so she has to refresh every single time and get back where she started at the beginning and be the character herself and not bring her into the character.
Oh, I see.
That's what makes it a little bit harder.
Oh, right. Okay.
初めてキャラクターと出会った時にはその作業っていらないじゃないですか。
When you first start, there's no impression or there's no anything like that. So,
True.
But now that there's like attachment to it, that she has to detach again, so it's a little bit hard.
Ah, she's reborn. You might say. I understand that. Right. Yeah. Another question.
Yeah.
Have you ever come across a character where you were asked to make a voice of them, and you weren't able to picture the voice in your head, or like how do you overcome that situation? Yeah.
Well, like Chris was saying, in any situation, you're given at least a drawing or a animation, not animated, but just a picture of what that character looks like.
so you can get an idea sort of what they're, obviously if it's a big, strong dude, he's not going to have a voice like this. So you want to kind of picture, what kind of voice would he have and play around with it. Again, you want to make sure it's real, not try to do something that sounds ridiculous and fake, but do something that's real. In video games, we have to do that because that's, there's nothing that's been recorded. And it's the same with you when you're recording anime and video games as well. For us, when we do anime, we're just dubbing it into English. So what we do is we listen to what the Japanese artist did because he or she is the one that created that role. And so we have to be honorable and to that performance. And we can't do something completely different because it's a dub. It needs to be true to that, what that actor originally did. To me, that's very, very important because they worked very hard and obviously, as you can tell, gave a lot of themselves to create that role. And we would do them an injustice to forget it. We need to honor that and be as close and as true in English to what they've done in Japanese. So that's that. When it comes to video games, it's a whole different thing, and you have to rely on your director. You can get an idea, and the idea, basically, if you can get in the ballpark, you're okay. They'll help you hit the home run, but if you can at least get in the ballpark, you're good.
Well, the question was, I think you asked, is it difficult, or has there ever been a time when we were unable to create the proper voice for a character, right? Yeah. I'll make my answer very short. The answer is yes, and that's when I don't get hired. So, yeah.
として本当に嬉しく思います。
Very friendly table.
私は今までの経験の中ではそういったことはないのですが、逆にイメージが近すぎる役が重なった時に困ってしまいます。
So in my past experience, I've actually never had that problem before. But there was a problem where many characters kind of had the same type of image, and how to differentiate the different type of characters within myself.
あれ、この A っていう役なのに B の声に似てるな。あれ、C なんじゃないか、D なんじゃないか。A の子だっていうことをきちんと伝えられないっていう力量に 悔しいっていう思いを感じています。
So there are times where like the character A sounds like character C, and the image is kind of overlapping in my head, and I can't really differentiate. So that's the biggest problem I encounter.
頑張ります。
Yeah, do you want somebody? Yes, right here. Yeah. Well, then we get you over here. Yeah, right.
Before recording, do you have to meet with your game developers or anime creators before going into recording and getting some suggestions from them?
In my case, or probably in our case, the studio, like for Borderlands 2, I was actually up in the studio recording something else. And they said, hey, we want you to audition for this video game that's coming out. And I went in and just laid down some, again, I saw the picture, laid down some different lines. There was a director there to kind of guide me along. And I did a couple of characters, Salvador and Flank Steak.
But the developers are present at the time, or?
No, not during the audition. It was just a director and an engineer. But the people at the studio had met with the gaming company and gotten, the breakdown and the character development, and all the stuff about the characters. So they knew how to direct the actors. So then they go in and they get 50 different auditions and narrow it down to maybe 10 that they think are really good, and then present that to the gaming company. But they've got somebody in the whole process. The actors are sort of the bottom level. So somebody above us hopefully has talked to the gaming people to give us direction. Now, when we're actually in the studio recording the game, a lot of times the creator of the game or the writers, they will be there to help further guide us to get the right, because they know intimately what the game is supposed to do. So, but in the audition process, not so much. They're looking for just a sound or a feel, something that captures the essence of that character.
Yeah, in the case of, in the unique, in my opinion, case of Borderlands 2, the writer, not during the audition, but during the recording, the writer was there. And because of the nature of that particular game, jokes and ideas were being written as we were going. Because based on what we were saying, he heard, like, what if you said it this way and it's even funnier, or whatever, he would add on to it. But that was very unique, it's not typical. Normally, I mean, there's a phrase, too many cooks in the kitchen. And we always try to have, the actor, really, the actor should hear one voice, and that's the director. And he tells us what to do. He's sort of the middleman between, corporate and other people and developers and that, and then us. He's sort of the artistic interpreter of the voice. So once we hear him, he usually gives us the final direction, and we often do not see or hear the other people, which I think is better, because then we can focus in on that single part and have 5 or 6 voices saying, well, what if you did? Well, I mean, that would be very confusing, and also the recording would take twice as long. So typically, it's just the director as interpreter. So.
日本でも全く同じで、ゲームを作っていくこと、作品を作るのってこうミルフィーユみたいな感じがしていて、でどこもこうなんて言うんでしょうね、さっき、自分たちがたくさんこう層があって最後に自分がいるこう末端部分だっていうお話をジョンがしてましたけど、自分たちはすごくこうして皆さんとお話を直接する機会があって。憧れられる職業になりつつあってすごく華やかな世界だって見えるかもしれないんですがその私たちを支えてくださる方たちがいないとやっぱり成り立たなくてただ
So it's the same as John, what you were saying, it's in layers and we're always at the very bottom listening to all the other people direct to each other and pass on the message. And I'm honored to say that that's where I get the attention, but you have to remember that there's always the people behind us that is supporting us, and that's where everything started.
ただその皆さんがいないとっていう気持ちがあってもなかなか出会うことができなくて日本で一度作品が一つ完成した時に打ち上げ式っていうのが行われたんです。その時に初めてお会いするスタッフの方がたくさんいる中で僕この作品のこの機械のここのネジ僕が締めたんですって言われた時に本当にたくさんの方が関わってくださっているんだなっていうのを感じてみんなで作ったミルフィーユで本当に良かったって思った出来事がありました。
So what I've experienced in the past is that there's always the end of the session party or when the actual game is finished, and some staff that I've never met before come up to me and is like, "Oh, I put this nail at this scene and I did that," and I feel that I'm very close to them now, and then that's a very honoring experience I've had in the past.
We've got time for one more question. Or 4 more. Combine your questions into one. All right, we'll go with you. We got people pointing. You've got a.
No pressure. No pressure.
You ladies.
少し軽いに行きたいと思うんですが、さっきはやっぱり収録の時はやっぱり飲み物はいつも水だけじゃないですか。もし選択余地があれば。他の飲み物はどういうものが好きですか？
I'll handle this one.
You bet. I don't know what exactly. All right, I don't understand Japanese.
I can repeat once. Yeah. So it's like, you know, it's like in your recording, it's like you have said your only friend is water. But I just want to know, it's like, can you choose other drink?
Beer. You know, really, if you want to sound like, hey, how you doing? Whiskey.
Actually, you know what? I will tell you that for voiceover, the best thing, and I don't always do it because I love Diet Coke, and it's the worst thing you can do for your voice. The best thing you can do, I would say, is hot tea.
Yeah.
Hot tea is good. And then room temperature water, not ice water. Because ice water constricts your vocal cords. So just soothe it with some hot tea, opens them up and clears out any, that you have. So hot tea, but water. So anyway, guys, that's all the time we have. How about a big hand for